Hold on.
Schedule.
We're live now. We've been talking to ourselves.
That was a good answer, though, Cary. I really enjoyed it.
No, it was
Cary had a great answer.
insightful and brilliant.
Wonderful.
They introduced themselves. I did the intro, and we weren't even live.
I was wondering what was happening.
So we're going to start over. I'm going to repeat everything I just said because you didn't hear it. I did the same thing with my members live yesterday. I was live for 2 hours, and I'm like, why is nobody in here? Well, I left it unlisted, never shared it to the members. So I was live 2 hours and nobody came. So I redid my members live today because nobody could see me. So I wasn't talking. Okay, so we're going to start again. Julian is back.
Hey.
We are happy Julian is back. He's only back for 2 weeks and then he's on vacation, but I'm not firing him, I promise. We are joined by Cary, American Arbitrage underneath me. This really feels like deja vu, as well as Tay, who is Caddy Corner. So I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves again to the actual audience. Thank you for waiting. Richard messaged me and said, "Are you having problems?" I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, we weren't live. All right, so here's Cary, and then I'll let Tay introduce himself, and then we'll go back to answering Jeremy's question again. Here is Cary.
Hey, everybody, I'm Cary, American Arbitrage. I'm a full-time reseller, I think. I've been doing this for like almost 12 years, 11 and a half years, and I've been doing social media stuff for almost 3 years. And that's what I love to do. I love to do TikToks, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, and selling. That's what I love to do. And I do it full-time, and I've been full-time for like I said, 11 and a half years.
Perfect. Here is Tay.
Hello, guys. My name is Dante, also known as Prison2Profit, and some people may know me as Darius as well. I've been a full-time reseller for roughly 3 years, and I've been selling for probably maybe 5-6 years total. I don't ever claim to be an expert. I'm learning every single day when it comes to this reselling game. I started reselling because I want to really just the freedom of working for myself. I love being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And especially with me having a brand new baby, I get to spend as much time as I want to with my child for the most part, and really don't have to worry about a 9 to 5 and only have 2 vacations a year and all that good stuff. But that was one of the main reasons I got into reselling. Wow, doing this intro is pretty hard again.
Again.
Short, sweet. But yeah, Prison2Profit here.
We just did all this, I promise you. All right, now we will go back to Jeremy's question, and Cary can talk about some dolls again. What is the spookiest item you've ever sold? Haunted, cursed, creepy, or just plain eerie?
Okay, so I used to be a full-time auctioneer in Utah, and there was this guy. I didn't get into this detail when we were doing this just for us four. There was a guy who insisted on naming himself Hollywood. So he came in and we had to call him Hollywood. I don't know what his real name was, but he loves selling porcelain dolls. He brought us so many of those. They're hard to sell, but the thing is, they're creepy. Have you ever seen a porcelain doll that you thought wasn't haunted? They all seem like they're haunted. They're missing arms, they're missing legs, they got random holes in their head. They always creep me out. I'm always worried that they're haunted, and I've dealt a lot with them, and now that I'm not doing live auction work anymore, I stay away from them.
Creepiest thing I've ever sold. Okay, so I can go 2 ways with this. Creepiest thing that I personally ever sold, it has nothing to do with haunted stuff. Put it that way. I'll just keep it at that. You know what I'm saying? I've sold some toys for females they were pretty creepy. But hey,
I'm trying to think. I stay away from like haunted things because I don't want that stuff in the house. I the dolls, all that. There was one time at a yard sale, I still remember its face. When I close my eyes, I can see it, like it's right here. It had green eyes, and it was like a doll, and had like a missing tooth. I don't even know if that's possible. How you can have a missing tooth as a doll. And that's it. Like once I see stuff like that, I don't pick it up. And because I am afraid that it would be cursed or something like that, and I'm not doing it. I'm not waking up with one of those things standing over me. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't do too much creepy watch. I'm gonna stop my camera because a lot of people think this doll that is next to me is very, very creepy. He was a gift, and he lives on my shelf. He still is on my shelf. He's been on my shelf 2 years, and my husband used to turn him around every time I would leave the room. Brad would face him towards the wall. So I sold one exactly like that one. And I know a lot of people think the dummies are creepy. So I've sold one of those. Other than that, I don't do a ton of creepy. All right, Miss Carol wants to know, what are 2 things you would never pass up if the price is right, and what are 2 things you will never pick up again, no matter the price?
If the price is right, and sometimes even when the price is wrong, I pick up sports cards. That's my favorite thing to sell, just because they're so easy to ship, they're so easy to list. It's my favorite thing. And honestly, I'm into jerseys. I like sports stuff, so like sports jerseys. If I can find a well-priced, authentic, any kind of sport. It could be hockey, it could be baseball, it could be football, whatever. I will pick it up all day. They sell really well, especially the vintage stuff. I won't pick up VHS DVD combos. They just sit in a pile, and I don't care how much they're worth. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to test them. I've learned my lesson on that. I had a bunch of them, and when I moved from Utah down to Vegas, I just gave them away because I never even got around to posting them all. I posted some, but I got sick of them pretty quickly. And then also, gosh, beyond that, Beanie Babies in general, like authentic Beanie Babies. I will pick up Beanie Baby type items if they're very particular, but I bought way too many of those in my early days of reselling. I've been scared off from
them. So that question is kind of hard for me. I'm not going to lie, because 2 things that I'll never pass up if the price is right for me is anything, profits in general. I will never pass up anything if the price is right. So I can't just like think of 2 things automatically. But when it comes to things that I will never pick up again, oh man, that list is pretty long. I definitely agree with the Beanie Babies. And I would say he stole my answer on the DVD VHS's combos, but I learned my lesson on those pretty quick. But I would say the top 2 items would definitely be Wii boards. Those are number 1. I don't care if a Wii board is 50 cents. I am not picking up a Wii board. Those things are just freaking awful. And then also printers. Like, you can find really good deals on printers in Goodwills and stuff like that, or even at yard sales. But a lot of times, a lot of ink is dried up in those printers, and there's a lot of problems with those printers, even if it is a good deal. So I learned my lessons, because I used to get a lot of returns on those in the beginning. So I really don't mess with those.
2 solid answers with the what not to pick up. So those are good ones. Things I would never pass up. Usually any type of fishing gear, and then like fishing boxes, like tackle boxes. I have like a whole bunch of them, and it doesn't really matter. I'm going to usually buy them, and I have like a collection that I sell, and then a lot I keep. And then and anything else really, if the price is right, I'm going to pick up anything if I can make a couple bucks on it or a little bit more. Other than, I will never pick up another ab lounger. It's that big type of thing, and I understand people ship them all the time and they love them. It took me 20 minutes to get it into the car one day, so I was like, I'm done with this thing. I don't even want to ship it. I actually didn't sell it. I gave it away. And the other thing would probably, I was going to say printers, because that's another one of those. I like the DVD combos. I do those a lot. But like a printer, there's so many things that you have to test out, and it can just be wrong. So that was one of the things we talked about beforehand, is somebody's taking your answer. I was going to say printers. They're not good. They're hard to test.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I pick up almost everything. I think people that know me know that. If the price is right, pretty much anything. But I occasionally will pick up the DVD VCRs, but I won't test them. I list them untested as is. So, and I know I'm not going to test them, so I look at prices for like untested ones when I comp them. But if there's not much that I wouldn't pick up if the price is right. So not too much. Cary, I don't know if there are 2 questions. Oh, I missed Cora. No, you're good. You're good. It didn't even pop up on mine. Me and Katie noticed that last week. Like, a ton of them were not showing up. So yeah. Thanks again, Katie, if you're watching. And Katie's going to be on with us again next week too. Cora sent $3 and said she wants to be. Yeah, Katie reads. That's it. Look, Tay's promoting next week's show. Buy his sweatshirt. Katie reads. Cora, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Here is the dolphin that everybody loved so much last week. Here you go. And then we're dancing every time. Perfect. Okay, so Cary, I don't know if you Want to answer this? Because there's really only one answer to this. Carol wants to know, where's the seller hub on the iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, you have to go in. Gosh, it's kind of hard. You have to use the. I don't even know how I get there half the time, but you have to go into
use the browser though. It's not in
you
the
have
eBay
to use
app.
Safari. It's not the app. Yeah, you have to go on Safari, and then once I've been in, it saves it. So now I can just type in eBay Seller Hub. It's a pain in the butt, but it is there still. It's hard to get there though.
Yeah, just not on the app. It is not on the app anywhere. And then her second question was, and this is really a statement, so, and I'm sure Cary can handle this one. Where is sell similar on the eBay app? I only see sell one like this.
Sell similar and sell one like this is the same thing.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, Carol. Yep. Vicky wants to know, how do you send an invoice if they want to purchase 3 items? Do they have to do something on their end first? And how are you combining shipping?
You can just go into awaiting payment, that part of your on your laptop, or you can go on your phone if you can get in there. And then you just click send invoice. It's going to be on each one of the items. Click send invoice. And then on that, it'll allow you to adjust the shipping price as well. It'll tell you what the total is. That happens a lot with my sports cards. Somebody will buy like 10 and it's like $15 to ship. I go in and fix it and it's like $3.95. You can just type in what it is and you press send and it sends it to them.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. I'm actually sending a refund that I promised on shipping. So if sometimes it'll make them pay, like this person, it made them pay because they had the items in their cart and they wanted to check out on all at the same time. So I shipped them today, and like I just sent them a refund on shipping. I forgot. So I'm glad you asked that. But if they have already paid, you would have to just send them a refund back after the fact. All right. Question for Julian. How was your unwelcome visitor, Ian?
We did really, really well. Now, like now I live pretty close to the coast, but I'm still like maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles away. The people that live on the coast, 3 blocks back, like if we just go, they did pretty bad. Like we lost 5 piers, I think, in the Grand Strand area. Yeah, it pretty much dropped every pier. I'm sure somebody in the chat could say, but other than Surfsides that had fallen from a previous hurricane that they're building, and then Garden City Pier, I think, is the only one that survived. The rest of them have significant damage, like closing damage. Like they won't be back for a while.
Yeah, some of down south here, they're saying at least 10 years to rebuild. And I've heard, like I read a couple articles like debating whether they should rebuild, as catastrophic as the damage is, because they're saying like it's going to get worse and worse, which sucks because one of my favorite places to go, Sanibel Island, is completely destroyed. So I will be very sad if they don't rebuild that. Patty wants to know, what did we all learn at eBay Open?
I didn't watch anything, but I'm assuming this about eBay Open is that eBay changed a lot of stuff, probably to do with fees, because they like to add more fees. They probably didn't fix much of anything, because that usually is what happens. And then they probably made a lot of promises they won't keep. But that's just me being positive.
I concur.
He just says, yeah, what he said.
Yeah, I didn't learn anything because I didn't watch or go.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I signed up, but I did not attend any of the sessions. But somebody messaged me and said, they're talking about you on eBay Open right now. So I tried to get in, but it was after the class ended. So they were just like chit-chatting after and I couldn't get in. So that was the only time I attempted. But Dalton's been sick. So I had too much going on to get in there. Teacher's Treasure Chest wants to know, do you use a tax exempt certificate when you go to estate sales or other places that you source?
I have in the past. I usually don't, though. It's just kind of a hassle. Yeah, you can, though. If you have if you're a LLC or whatever, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, it's one of the areas I do fail at in my business. Like he said, it's just extra stuff you have to do, man. I just don't have time. I mean, for me, it's not. I mean, over the long haul, I know, it'll save money. But again, that's something I can just claim at the end of the year on my taxes at the same time. So, I mean, I really don't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, for sales tax, when I buy it, like yard sales and stuff, they're not really charging sales tax, so I wouldn't be able to give that certificate anyway. And then in South Carolina, or at least where I'm at, we don't have taxes in Goodwills. so they don't do sales tax in Goodwills. So really, the only place I've ever did it was at a storage locker. You could do that at a storage locker, and then because they were going to do sales tax, and you could just wipe that. But other than that, no.
It makes sense if you're going to like storage units and you're dropping thousands of dollars a weekend or something. But if it's $20-$30, I just don't usually do it.
Yeah, and I was going to kind of mimic what Cary said. So if it's just like a random estate sale I go to and I'm spending like under $100, no, I'm not going to bother with it. But if I'm going and I'm spending $500, $600, $700, I'll be like, hey, can I email you my resale certificate? Because if it's a significant amount, I want it. My online estate sales, I have mine registered with all of the online estate sales, and then but I don't at thrift stores. When I go to thrift stores, I don't use it because typically I'm spending under $100, so that's $7, and I'm counting the whole purchase towards, you know, what I paid for it. So I do not at thrift stores, but I will at estate sales if I'm spending a lot. Cheryl is saying I might be starting selling on Whatnot soon, selling jewelry that I've made. Is it hard for just one person to do it? I know quite a few of you have had help. And I think Cary and myself are the only two that have sold on Whatnot. So I guess Tay, you haven't started Whatnot, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think by yourself, there's a learning curve. It's not like hard work, but it does take some practice. There's the shipping involved. The good thing is if you're organized, it'll make life a lot easier. If you number all your bags, like this is lot 1, lot 2, and you just set it aside, and then you go in beforehand and you write down all the lots. You even take pictures, which could help a lot. You can make it a lot easier on you. It takes a little bit of practice. But the main thing with Whatnot, in my opinion, that you want to focus on is being consistent. You want to be consistent, realize that not every auction is going to be great, no matter how much of a following or little of a following you have. Some auctions are wonderful, some are tough, and you just got to be consistent, and then you can have some sort of consistent income from it.
All right, these are my friend. Do you see these? These are my friends. These are 3.5 by 5.5 envelopes. If you're doing jewelry, almost all jewelry will fit in here. Not all. If you see all of those envelopes on my counter, I'm going to put them back in order because I reuse them. So they are numbered A1 through A100. So like my Whatnot sale on Sunday, I did 65 items. And I will put them back in order. I will reuse them because I don't want to write A1 through A60 every single time. And then we take them out and ship them. If it's just one person, I think it would be a little, like Cary said, I think it would be a learning curve. I think you could do it, but I think it would be a lot easier with help. So like my daughter is handing me the next item. So I'm only showing and talking. She's handing me the next item. She's on the computer starting the auction. But you could do the same thing, but I would say I would stream from your phone and have a laptop or a computer beside you to start the auctions. I wouldn't try and start them from the phone. I think that's a lot harder. I don't know if Cary or do you run it just using a phone or do you use a laptop too?
I just use a phone, but I have help. Dawn, Lady Arbitrage, my girlfriend, she helps me. And we usually have both our phones going at the same time. So that helps. It's good to have 2 points of contact.
Devices.
So
Yeah. So that's what I would do. It might just, like I said, it might be a little more frustrating and a little more of a learning curve if it's just you doing it. But I think it's totally doable. Like if my daughter wasn't available one day, I would still feel comfortable running one. Molly wants to know would you list pre-owned item clothings that don't have material labels?
I don't do that much. I'm not much of a clothing seller, but you would have to put the measurements and then just put the style of clothing it is. And that's about all you can do. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. If it doesn't have any tags or anything like that, and it doesn't even have to be in clothing in particular, I usually just leave it behind. I need to have some kind of maker's mark identifier, know what kind of size it is or something, especially if I'm gonna deal with clothing. So I'm just too lazy. I don't feel like having to do all the extra work to find the details.
Yeah, if it's like a t-shirt and the tags, I might just do like the measurements and just be like, and just put it up there and say unknown. I mean, if it looks like cotton, maybe I could do that, but you could feel like a different blend maybe. But usually anything without a label, I do not pick up, especially if it doesn't have, like, I picked up shoes without sizes. I can't handle that no more. And then clothing without labels, I'll usually leave them behind.
Yeah, unless it's something really rare. Now, if you mean material like Julian was saying, like cotton polyester, I don't care. I'm going to list the brand, the name, the size. So as long as it's got a size tag, then I'm fine. I don't really specifically look for like what material it is. And I typically don't put what material it is in my title anyways, unless it's like something that's silk, you know, or something that's nicer. Like I don't put cotton shirt in a title. But if it's rare and vintage, then I would put measurements and I would pick it up. But if it's like a more like modern, newer piece, I wouldn't pick it up if I couldn't see a size on it. And if I had it like from a lot, I would probably just give it away or redonate it. I wouldn't deal with measuring it if it wasn't worth, you know, a decent amount. Sue wants to know, what is the worst thing you purchased for resale that was a total loss?
Wow, I have a lot of them. A lot of it was back when I started. I got a bunch of Jim Beam bottle decanters back in the day, and they're not that bad. They look amazing. They got a lot of cool style to them, but I overspent on them, and I had to end up get rid of them at a swap meet back when I used to do swap meets, and I'm pretty sure I took a loss on all of them. So, you know, that's why I say stay away from Avon bottles, these decanters, the Budweiser Steins. They're mass produced, and things that are made to be collectible typically aren't that collectible or desirable. So I learned my lesson, and that's some of the best lessons you can learn in reselling is the ones that lose you money, because you'll save yourself money down the line if you end up doing this for a while. So I'm not upset about it, but it happens to all of us.
Wow, the worst thing that I purchased for resale. Honestly, I would have to go back to Beanie Babies. When I first got into reselling, I just, you know, thought Beanie Babies was very, very profitable. I mean, you would see a lot of people talk about Beanie Babies. You can make all this money. You check sold comps on Beanie Babies and you just see crazy numbers, and come to find out that they really aren't worth anything, you know? And a lot of people use Beanie Babies for different other scams. That's why you see a lot of high sold comps on them. And I'm not going to get into details and all that. But yeah, Beanie Babies definitely for sure.
I bought at auction one time these beer cans that were flat, so they've never been used or rolled or anything, and you would think that would be like super awesome because they're like different and they just looked really cool. So I'm not saying they don't sell. I have a lot left. I overpaid for them, number one, and number two, they don't sell for like but $5 to $7, and that's kind of what I paid for them. But they looked way cooler than what they sell for. I thought for sure maybe like the decanters, they look awesome, but it was one of those things I should have done my research on. And then those Snap-on racing blocks that are just those glass blocks that say Snap-on the inside, Snap-on Racing. Really thought they'd go for money. It actually became a joke on the channel, and then everybody bought them, so I much appreciate that, but I wouldn't buy them again. Unless I find them, I'm buying them, but you shouldn't buy them. You should send them to me so I can then.
And then we'll tell all of the people. So I'm going to disagree on Beanie Babies, and I'm going to tell you why. And not because they're a ton of money, but if you can get them for a quarter, I sold out of 300 of them for $9.99 free shipping. So I made $5 a piece. I gave up on researching. Like, forget it. They all were listed $9.99 free shipping, and I sold out. So and it didn't take a long time, but I did quit because of what Tay said. The comps will trick you. They are all over the place. So I just listed every single one, $9.99 free ship, moved on and sold over 200 of them. So I'll pick them up. If I can get them for a quarter or 50 cents, I will pick them up.
I feel
it's so easy to list.
The focus when you're selling those would probably be the animal then. Like if you have a cool crab or a stork or something, I think if you marketed it that way and didn't focus so much on that it was a Beanie Baby, it would make sense.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I didn't even care. I just like copied somebody's listing, $9.99 free ship, and they all sold within like 6 months. It wasn't a long time. But it's not something I search out, mind you. I wouldn't go searching to buy 100 Beanie Babies. Not at all. I came up on a yard sale. She had like 300 of them. I got them for $100, you know, like 33 cents each. And there were a few collectible bears in there that actually paid for the whole lot by selling 3 bears. So really the Beanie Babies were free. As far as a total loss, nothing's been a total loss because I've sold a few things, but those filters I bought were pretty rough. I spent about $1,000 on them. I'm looking because about half my loft has been emptied and they have not come back for more. And I gave them to them. I gave them to them for free. She would come because I think of our relationship and I give her free stuff all the time. So like I did message her and have her pick up other stuff for free, but those filters were pretty bad. Just because they're so heavy and the shipping, like they're diesel fuel filters, they weigh 4 pounds. So like the shipping's ridiculous, let alone the cost of the item. So I think that was a big thing. I'm hoping she can sell them like in person at the flea market or something. But that was probably one of my worst buys. Probably one of my worst. Oh, thank you, Vintage Chick 64 $4.99 super sticker. I appreciate you. Here is your dancing dolphin. Thank you. Yeah, we gotta like dance. I need like a margarita. Okay, we are in Q4. So this has been asked pretty much every week. Cheryl is asking for tips and tricks or must-haves she should be looking for Q4.
Here's the tip. It's the same tip in every quarter. List more, you'll sell more if you list the right kind of stuff. Used clothing isn't going to move as fast probably during Q4, but look for toys. Toys can do really well, especially new in the box. But I typically myself stay away from stuff that's seasonal to begin with. I sell a lot of sports cards, and that has, all year it sells really, really well. But the key is, honestly, it's just to list. And if you want to sell more, there's more people buying in fourth quarter, so just list more. That would be my biggest tip.
Yeah. So, okay, I guess I'll let everybody yell at me. So for me, I will just say treat Q4 like you would treat Q1, 2, 3. Like you need to really just treat them all the same. Stop specializing Q4. Yes, you're going to make more sales in Q4, but you can increase your sales in Q2 and Q1 if you are treating Q2 and Q1 like Q4. A lot of people just work harder in Q4 for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I just said that, but if you treat all the quarters the same, like you're going to make some good money all year round. So you really shouldn't have to work harder for Q4. Like Q4 is the time when you want to be relaxing. That's when all the holidays come. So as a reseller, we want to be like chilling with our families instead of having to go out there and source and do all this extra work just because it's Q4. So just try to treat all the Qs the same.
Tips. I would say order your priority boxes now because they're going to be all jammed up because everybody else is going to order them. And then also know that everybody else is going to be shipping out stuff, not just resellers and stuff, people like just normal humans. So get to the post office early. Make sure you have scan sheets. If you are noticing they're not scanning stuff in, maybe I had to up my handling time just one day. And if you ever do drop boxes, get there early because them drop boxes are always full. It seems like, when Christmas comes around, because everybody's just sending so much more stuff in the mail.
Yeah, I agree. Get your shipping supplies. I'm actually ordering them because you reminded me. I forgot to order them earlier. I was like, let me do this before I forget. I agree with Tay. So I don't see a jump in Q4. Q4 is business as usual for me, with the exception of making sure I have my free USPS boxes because they get backed up and they're harder to get. So I do make sure I have a stock of them. But other than that, it's business as usual. I don't see a bump in Q4, and I am okay with that. I would rather have a steady income of sales all year round rather than like being rushed in Q4 and going crazy. So for us, it maintains for us. Not much different around here except for stocking up on shipping supplies. Molly wants to know, this is a fun question. As a seller, what was your worst experience dealing with a buyer?
So when I started reselling 11 years ago, give or take, I sent out a brownie pan. I might have sold one brownie pan in my whole life, and it was this one time. And I guess it had some rust on it or something. I don't remember. I'm sure I disclosed that. But when it got there, basically the person was fishing for a deal, probably to get it for free. They had told me that it was all messed up and they didn't want it anymore. And I'm like, yep, that's not a problem. I'm sorry about the issue. Send it back, right? Send it back. I'll refund you. And they're like, I don't know where it is. I threw it away or something. And I'm like, well, grab it out of the trash and send it back to me. And then they escalated it to the fact that they said I was trying to kill them with the brownie pan. That's literally came out of their mouth. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. So they kept escalating because ultimately they wanted me to just refund them and let them keep the brownie pan is what they wanted. But, really, you got to let all that stuff just not bother you at all. Because in general, I will say this, I sell a lot of stuff. I'm sure you do, Kat, Dante, Julian. Most people are cool. Most people act normal. Most people get the stuff and they're happy with it. So don't waste too much time worrying about the bad interactions and just push forward, post more stuff, sell more stuff. Watch Trash to Cash also. Kevin keeps texting me saying to say that. So
Plug the show.
Wow, I guess my worst experience, with people, eBay, I was going back and forth with somebody who bought something from me. And I'm the type of person like, okay, I know there's a lot of people who just want their money back. So rather than tell them I'm just going to let them keep the item, I'm like, okay, just send the item back or whatever, or just start a return. That's what I normally like. Just go ahead and start the return, start the process, especially if I know it's something that they deserve a return for. So this buyer, he got the message, he got the package. He said the box was smashed a little bit when he got it. He sent me the picture and he was like, so what are we going to do about this? And I was like, I'm so sorry that the box got there and it was smashed. If you don't like the item, you can just start a return and I will accept it back. He didn't like that. He just got mad and he started going in and saying I must be a leftist. And he started start bringing politics into this, started bringing my race into things. And I did it too, ain't gonna lie. Because once he started talking a bunch of junk, I Googled his name and looked him up. So apparently he looked me up, figured out who I was, Prison2Profit and all this good stuff. And he was like, he didn't care about I was on a TV show. Like he just went in on my life about how bad of a seller I was just because the package got bent. Little did he know, if he would have started the return, I would have accepted the return and literally just refunded him the money immediately. Because that's what I always do. Because I got the item for pennies. A lot of people, they look like when they have to refund somebody, they look at the money that the person bought the item for them for. I don't. I look at what did I purchase the item for. So if I only bought the item for $2 and it's a $30 refund, I don't look at me losing $30. I'm losing $2 in essence. So that's what it would have been for me. But he just kept going back and forth over and over and over. And I just thought it was hilarious because some people just bury themselves, start threatening me with negative feedback, which automatically gonna get removed because you threatened me with negative feedback. So it was just crazy. It was just pretty crazy.
Mine was early on when if this would happen now, it would have played out totally different. But basically, this guy did a bulk deal, and I didn't really know how to do the whole combined shipping, and we worked that out. And then he got all the stuff, and he said that everything I sent to him was wrong. And I was like, oh man, this is terrible. And in the beginning, I was like, oh well, I was trying to make him, I was like, oh, I'll do this and send you. And then I ended up sending him a full refund. And I said, just send the stuff back. But I sent the refund before, and it was just a big ordeal. But just it's like Cary said, not a lot of people are like that. But he was just so incredibly just persistent. Now I would just say open a refund, and it is what it is. And then I would probably do what they did and just refund him. I don't want the stuff back. And but no, that was just bad. I still remember that because I think that was maybe a month into me doing this. And I was like, if this keeps going on, I don't know if I can handle this. This is ridiculous. Because it was just an onslaught of messages from this guy. And so I didn't know the eBay. I mean, he threatened me too with the bad. I didn't know that they would actually have your back on stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's mine. Not horrible. Not like Tay's.
Yeah, I've had a few horrible ones. Honestly, I don't remember them because of what Cary said. Don't let them get to you. It took me a long time to learn that. And it is hard. It is hard. It's not easy to get to that point, but let it go. Some people can be extremely, extremely nasty. I've had a few of them over the years. A lot of stuff like Tay said, where people, are just being downright nasty. They take personal attacks. And you've got I just stop answering them. If you're going to talk to me like that, I'm not going to respond. If you want to open a refund, and I'm not responding to them anymore because it's not worth your time. It's not worth your time. It's not worth you stressing out. It's part of business. Write it off if they send it back and it's not usable. Deduct 50% like you're allowed to do, if they mess up your item, but they get blocked. And I let it go. So I honestly can't remember them because I don't want to let it get to me. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to let them get to you. And I know it's hard. It's hard not to let them tick you off, but don't let them. I saw Beach Walker celebrating a $45 calculator sale 2 minutes after relisting for a non-paying bidder. And the
Yes,
non-payer was at $40. Amazing. Paid $4. That is a great profit. Thank you so much for the super chat. Here's your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. You got to dance to the, like, you can't not dance. You can't not dance. BB wants to know, can a buyer leave a negative review if the seller is terrible, or can the seller remove the review?
A buyer can leave a negative review, yeah. And then it depends on if there's feedback and extortion involved or something. It can sometimes be reviewed or removed, but in general, it stays up there. But I mean, you don't get many buyers like that. I would never let that stop you from listing or stop you from doing this, because it doesn't happen that much. But in any business, there's going to be unhappy people for no reason. So just, I wouldn't sweat it too much. But yeah, they can leave a negative. And sometimes it's unjust. Sometimes it's justified. I've gotten negatives where I'm like, I probably deserve that. I was maybe a few days late on shipment or something. So, try not to let it bother you. Overall, people are cool.
Yeah, that's so subjective too, though. When people like, it's terrible. If the buyer is terrible, they deserve that negative feedback. But if they weren't, I mean, you can always just go to eBay for Business on Facebook and kind of message them. Normally, I'm not gonna lie, I have a bunch of negative feedback that's gotten removed, especially if it's a case where you've refunded the buyer. Like that's automatic negative feedback removal grounds immediately. Like they don't play. I mean, eBay will take that down immediately because you refunded the buyer. But there's a lot of cases where you deal with certain buyers. That's why I always let them kill themselves in the messages. Like just let them talk. I'll always short with my answers when I talk to them back. I'll say something like a very short sentence so they can't trap me. I trap them. Let them bury themselves. Once they start talking junk and starting getting negative, then I'll just send that message to eBay and they remove the negative feedback every single time.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that.
Yeah, so I will tell you, I think I probably had over 20 negative feedbacks removed, because if they open a return and send it back and you refund them, their feedback is automatically removed, no matter what, if you're a top rated seller. So like if they return it, like somebody telling me the scarf was pink, not peach, and being really nasty, I forgot about that one until just now. That was like a couple weeks ago. It's automatically removed. So if I refund them, they return the item, or if they open a refund, which is why I asked them to open a refund, and I refund them, then it is automatically removed. So you can, if it's unjustified or if they're being nasty to you in that feedback, it will get removed. And if they tell you if you don't give them a partial refund, they will leave you negative feedback, that will be removed, because that's feedback extortion. So when somebody says that, I love it. I'm like, go straight to eBay for Business. Tell them, look, they said if I don't give them money back, they're leaving me bad feedback. Now they did. It was removed. So a lot of times it can be removed. Oh, I see. I buy Chit and I see Richard. Yay. Oh. Christopher says, just showing support, and Cary just offered $100 for you to spread molasses on your face. Who?
Okay, so this is I have to explain this. This is a trash to cash thing. We have a Patreon group now, and Dave randomly, like a week and a half ago, just created a tier without asking me or anything, that said it was called Jam Hands Cary, and I apparently for $35 a month now I have to put some sort of sticky substance on my hand and then put it on my face at the end of the podcast once a month. So I did that in the last podcast. We made $35, but now it looks like I'm going to make even more money. So it's all about getting the views. It's all about getting the views. It was dumb, but yeah, it was fun. The best part was Kevin and Dave wanted to talk after the podcast for like a half an hour, and I'm covered in jam. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Great. That's great. All right, Chris, here's yours, and then we'll get Richard's. All right, Richard, great panel tonight. They are all great. I agree. Cary, Tay, and Julian, all of these guys have been on the show multiple times, so I gotta like them because they keep coming back. They are great. I agree with you, Richard. Thank you so much for the super chat. my chat jumped. Let me scroll 5 years back. I wrote it down, though. I wrote it down because if I don't, I'll lose my place. I've learned that. Every time we put up a super chat, I write down the time I was at because otherwise it's kind of pointless and I will never, ever, ever find it. It was, I'm looking for Lily. Lily, where are you? Let's see.
Kevin's a hater.
He's the worst. He's the worst.
Lily. Where'd she go? Aha. I just saw it. Oh, here it is. If you sell on eBay, are you finding your year-over-year sales are down?
No, it's all about just the effort. It really is. It could be said that I might be working harder or more efficiently or smarter, maybe, than what I was when I started, 10 years ago plus. But no, I think my sales, typically coincide with the effort that I put in. You do have to adapt. I mean, when I started reselling, in 2011, 2012, I was selling a ton of video games. Now I can't find them at good prices. I was selling a ton of DVDs. Most of them aren't worth anything anymore. So you have to adapt and grow and change what you sell. But I really think there's a greater opportunity to make a living online than ever before, not just on eBay. Back in the day, eBay really, and Amazon maybe, was the only viable place that you could use. But now there's Whatnot, there's Poshmark, there's Cary, social media you can make money on. So, I mean, the world is an amazing place.
See, he says all the good stuff, so therefore I'm just going to be like, I agree.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. No, I mean, I've only been doing this 3 years where you could track that. So I would say no, we're growing each year, but our efforts, we're definitely, and I like the idea of like, you have to adapt for what you're selling and what you can find and everything like that. But no, overall, it's definitely going to be your effort.
Yeah, and my sales are up, so mine are not down. But I also went full time, so I have a little more time to put into it. The Krabby Picker on the seller level page, and this is going to be just a one person answer. They want to know, how long does a transaction defect stay on eBay? I think it's a year. It's a year. Yeah. I think it stays on for a year, so it's not indefinite, but it's probably going to feel like it, just like negative feedback. Negative feedback stays on there for a year as well. So yeah. Aunt Laura wants to know, how do you decide between auction and buy it now? I'm just starting to get serious with eBay part-time.
It depends on what your goals are. In general, I would choose buy it now almost always, because then you know what you're going to get, or when you start at 99 cents, especially on an auction, there's a lot of risk. But what I like to do is buy it now with best offer. So that allows you to get offers sent to you to kind of see the market. And there's been times where I immediately, take an offer. Maybe I overpaid for an item or something that's happened. But I do buy it now with best offer. Unless you're trying to liquidate, then maybe I would use auction to just get rid of stuff. But that's how I do it.
Stop stealing my answer. But yeah, I completely agree. Honestly, I use buy it now probably 99.3879% of the time, because I do the same thing. Like if I'm unsure about a price or something, I'll price it extremely high and turn on best offer, and I just won't put my minimum offer on. So that way people can send me whatever offer they want, and then the market will tell you exactly what your item's worth. Because after a while, you start seeing similar offers come to you, so you'll know what your item's worth. And only time I really use auction, let's say if I have an item and I just want it gone, I want to get rid of it, I really don't care what I get. I usually just put the starting price on what I want my minimum profit to be, and then I'll just go from there. It's rare that I use an auction, because you can lose a lot of money on auctions sometimes. Don't get me wrong. Like if you have something that's very, very rare and everybody happens to want the item, you can make a lot of money. But for me personally, I feel like you can just lose a little bit more money on auctions versus just putting on buy it now and then turning on best offers.
Yeah, I would agree. The only time I use auctions is going to be like a lot of stuff. Like if I buy a ton of tools and there's a whole bunch of these that aren't that good, like they're rusted, but I know they still sell because people still want them, I'll put them for super cheap. I usually will sell that for what I bought everything for. Then the stuff I picked out is the stuff that I've sold or like sell individually at buy it now. But that's really about the only time that I've been using auctions now. And I started at my minimum that I want to get it, and I run it for 7 days. Usually end on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Sometimes I do 10 days, but usually 99.9% of the time I am buying. Now I did a lot of auctions before, but I stopped.
Yeah.
I'm debating on whether I want to show you guys these because I have my thrift battle tomorrow night and I might use them. I went over.
This is a big thrift battle.
You gotta.
Yeah,
hold them, hold them.
It is. It's $800 to the winner tomorrow night. $800, 3-year-long thrift battle. Okay, I won't show them. I won't show them.
I lost in the first round 3 years ago.
So I'm with Tay. 99.9 whatever percent I do buy it now. I have some stuff here. You'll have to come watch me in the thrift battle. I will show it to you tomorrow night that will be put on auction. Will be put on auction because it's very rare and could go for a lot of money. So we'll leave it at that. I won't show them. I'll leave them on my desk where I put them. But I think, especially if you're new, I would do mostly buy it now, unless like Tay said, if you don't care what you're getting, you just want to get something back, start it at the lowest amount you're willing to take and let it go. Let it go. Who is that? I can't see. Sunkissed. Hi with your horse. Sunkissed says, y'all are great. Do your spouses help in the business and does it work well? Second question, do you bubble wrap plush?
Yeah, my girlfriend has helped me this whole time. She's Lady Arbitrage everywhere. She's excited. She just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and she has a lot of followers. Yeah, she has a lot of followers on TikTok and everywhere else. But she's excited about that. Yeah, she helps, and I would be a mess without her. We'll put it that way. I'm very much go with the flow, and she's much more disciplined than me. But she helps a lot. And bubble wrapping plush, I think there could be a case for it on vintage old ones, honestly, if you put them in a box. But the thing that's great about plushes is you can put them in poly bags. So that's one of the best parts of selling those is they're easy to ship.
Completely agree with the shipping. I don't think I've ever bubble wrapped a plush, to be honest. I normally just put them in like a bag. I even put them in like a grocery bag, to be honest, just to give it a little bit more protection or something, or a big Ziploc bag. I'll put it in some kind of bag for them before I put it in the box that I'm going to ship it in. But as far as my spouse helping, she has her whole business that she runs by herself. She's a whole superstar on her own that she runs. Katie Reeds, she has merch. Go copper merch. Link's not in her description. Yeah, she does. She helps my business too. Like she'll help me with shipping items and stuff like that. When I take stuff to the post office. I mean, you definitely need a partner sometimes to help you in this business.
Yep, I would agree. Kayla, she is like full-time now. She quit her job and she works for this now. So she does everything, lists, ships, keeps me sane, like the whole 9 yards. So it helps with YouTube, films, does all that stuff, post stuff. We now have multiple YouTube channels. She does a lot of stuff. So, and then wrapping plush, I don't really sell too many, to be honest with you. I would only wrap ones that have that what is it? The face that's like rubber, and then that could be messed up.
The Russian, the $100 one,
yeah, something like that, or that puppy that costs $800.
The pink puppies, yes,
yeah, that might get bubble wrap.
Yeah. So my husband helps with packing. When I ask him, he does not always help with packing. If it's not a busy day like today, I packed by myself. Yesterday, we shipped out 100 packages because it was a Monday and we had a whatnot sale. So with 100 packages, he did help me pack. He does bring it all to the post office, but I, along with my listers, do all of the listing. He doesn't help with the listing or anything. And he's just started his woodworking business. So he helps a little bit. Does it work well? Sometimes I want stuff packed. Like he doesn't pack it. Like whatnot stuff I was putting labels on and taking the item out of poly bags yesterday and rewrapping it because he didn't. Because I'm very particular. So I almost would rather pack all myself sometimes. But just to be completely transparent, he's a guy. So with like fragile breakables, like he's like, they're earrings. They're not breakable. I'm like, they're $80 rare earrings. What is that? Let me see, Tay.
No, it's just sold.
Oh, nice.
I'm glad I sold something on the live. I needed that.
So like he doesn't know about the stuff I'm selling. So it might be tiny, but worth a lot of money. And then he doesn't protect it like I would. So it works well most of the time. And I would, again, if it was $high dollar plush, like $100 or more, I would, just because I think appearances are important. If somebody pays $100 for a plush, they might want it to look really nice. I didn't bubble wrap my $200 48-inch plus because I'm not going to bubble wrap that, and then it's fine. So I guess there are exceptions to that rule sometimes, but very, very rarely, very rarely. And I do put plush in a box if it's over $50. Otherwise, it goes in a poly bag. So here is your dolphin, so I don't forget. Sun Kiss, thank you so much. I see another one, so we can dance some more. Shiny Baubles, $10 super chat. We get so much information from all of you, a fantastic community. How do you separate personal items from business to avoid getting 1099? I don't know why you would get 1099s if you do work for somebody else as a contractor. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Maybe in the chat if you mean something else, like eBay's gonna 1099 you if you're selling stuff regardless. Like if you mean that, like even making money from your personal stuff is taxable. It's taxable. Even if it's your own personal stuff, you would just need to write off the expense of it. So I don't know if that's what you're asking. So I don't know what are you taking of that, Cary?
Yeah, I didn't understand the question exactly either, but you're gonna get 1099 for wherever you're making money, basically, and that happens all over the place. You get 1099s from I think Cary sends them to us, eBay, and then if you do social media, you get 1099. So you separate personal items. I don't get the question, honestly.
The only thing I can think of is like if you're selling, like even garage sale money legally is taxable, guys. Just FYI. So you might do another account, but unless you're doing a separate tax return, it would still count as income. So if you want to update us in the chat, Julian, if you can watch, if they want to specify for us, here is your dolphin, Shiny Bauble.
Can I just add on to that too?
I
think that you, like, just in general, you should completely separate business and personal altogether anyway. Like you should be paying yourself out of your business account. Like you should literally be treating your eBay like you're going to work for somebody else. Even though you own it and operate it, you need to really be treating it like a business. You need to be paying yourself. You need to think of an amount that you feel like you need to be getting paid, and really pay yourself. Pay yourself with a business check, or get it directly deposited into your account. Please, please, please keep your business and your personal separated. Not just in all that you do. You have to keep that separated, man. You have to, because you can get a lot of things mixed up, especially tax time. It's going to make things so much easier when tax time come around too.
Yeah, for sure. Even if you're just selling a little bit, guys, it's free to open a business account. You don't have to have a business license to open a business account. If you don't want to call it a business account, open a second checking account, keep it separate so you can track everything, like buy your thrift finds, put your income in there, pay yourself some, like Tay was saying. I agree for sure. Okay, Carol, and I think all of us can touch on this. Carol says, I appreciate all the great advice, but I get the impression you have to have a YouTube channel to make the money that we do. Can you talk about that? Can a 78-year-old grandma make money? Cary, you're muted.
Sorry.
Looked like a good answer, though.
No, it was really insightful. You guys would have loved it. You don't need social media to make a lot of money. In fact, and I've heard many people say this because it's true, social media to a certain extent is a distraction for a lot of people because it's a lot of work. It's another job. And if we spend all the time we spend on social media, listing more or doing more, we'd probably make similar amounts of money. So no, you don't need to. My mom's 80. She still does Amazon, and she's been doing Amazon for the last decade. And she does well. It makes her a lot of extra money on the side. So yeah, you don't need the social media following. What you need is to treat it like a business. You need to go out and look for stuff that's profitable and price it right. And that takes time. It takes experience. It takes watching, you know, I've watched quite a few of your videos, Kat, on like what to look for when it comes to teacups or whatever.
The research videos everybody loves.
Those are super, super helpful. Those are like college courses. They really are. So educate yourself and go out and look. I mean, I'm out every day looking, you know, and I'm doing videos. So it's definitely possible.
100% agree, because I'm a firm believer in most people who don't even do YouTube. They're making more money than a lot of people who are actually on YouTube, because they are actually, like he said, they're actually focusing more time on eBay. There are people who, yeah, I'm not even gonna get into all that because I don't know if I think I'm taking the shots. But there are some people who make a lot of money selling on eBay because they are YouTubers too. So you have to think about that. There are people who they don't make a lot of money, and they would not be eBay sellers if they didn't have a YouTube channel. But then again, you have the same on the opposite spectrum. Like, you have a lot of people who make good money and they don't even start a YouTube thinking about anything YouTube related. So you do not have to have a YouTube channel or a big following to start selling on eBay. You have to get knowledge about what items that you are searching. That's the most important part. Checking these sold comps and making sure that you're getting items that have great sell-through rates. That's what matters the most, more than anything else when it comes to this reselling industry.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The amount of time that YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, everything else out there that we post videos on, Facebook, everything takes a ton of time. That takes, I mean, it takes way more time for me anyway, doing stuff like that, than it is actually reselling, looking stuff up. But the most important thing is knowing you don't need that. And if you just do the proper research, like they just said, the most important thing is what is selling. Like, that is literally it. That's where you buy it cheap, sell it high, and you're good to go. And just buy stuff that sells.
Yeah, and I'm going to mirror everything they said and say YouTube took away money from my sales for at least a year and a half, if not a little bit longer. So absolutely not. You do not need a YouTube. You can build a bigger and better eBay business without YouTube, because you're concentrating on eBay and you don't have all the social media stuff distracting you. As far as age goes, I had an 89-year-old seller at one of my camps. It's funny because I'm wearing my camp shirt tonight. 89 years old. She was an active seller. She was making money. Age is not a limit. Age is not a limit. If you can find stuff, you can take pictures, you can list it online, you can make money. So I don't think age should be a deterrent for you, because a lot of the people that watch me are in retirement and are supplementing their retirement income. So that's definitely doable. And yeah, you don't need a YouTube channel. Mary Jane, jewelry findings. Can someone return items on Whatnot?
Yes, I've never had it happen, and I've sold almost 11,000 items on Whatnot this year, and I've never had one return.
Wow.
Damn.
And Cary's way more experienced than me, so I'm going to let Cary have that question. So I
don't feel the culture is the same as eBay when it comes to that. Very few people, because you're showing people the stuff, talking about it.
You know, like, you see it, like,
that deters a lot of it. Honestly,
they could return it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me give
they
you your
definitely
dolphin,
can, but it's not often.
And then we'll get Miss Mary Garcia's. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Mary has a great point. The only limit you have is the one you place on yourself. Take the plunge, stay consistent. Katie and I were just talking about this the other day. I believe at 110%. If you believe you can do it, you can. And if you believe you can't, then you cannot. Whatever you believe is what is going to be the truth. So if you think you can't, then you're not going to be able to. You know, you got to believe you can do it and put your attention to it, and you can do it. I agree 100%. Mary and Abby, here's your new dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. What do we think about the Poshmark buyout for $1.2 billion?
Good for them. I wonder if they're giving out any short-term non-repayment loans, because I could use some extra money. I don't know anything about Poshmark, guys, but I think that's probably good. Yeah, Dante?
Good for them. I mean, I'm not getting out of that money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on it. Really, it's businesses. Businesses sell all the time. They merge all the time. If they change the platform, I'll go with the flow. It doesn't really matter to me who owns it. As long as the platform's working, I'm getting sales. I could care less. Really, I think it's funny the timing. Like 2 days after Posh Fest, they are like, "Oh, we sold," and nobody knew it.
That
Posh
is
Fest.
odd.
So I think that's kind of funny. But other than that, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I wouldn't be surprised, like if eBay sells one day to whoever, whatever. I did not know. Did you know Etsy bought Depop? Did you guys know that?
No.
So Etsy owns Depop. I found that out when I was reading the article about the company buying Poshmark, and they were talking about Etsy acquiring Depop. So Etsy bought Depop too. So yeah, for sure. Beachwalker wants to know, is there any kind of penalty for buyers who do not pay?
I believe if you've not paid on enough items, you could get suspended as a buyer on eBay. I do know that they tend to be a lot more lenient with buyers than they do with sellers. That's from what I know. I haven't, I don't know because I haven't been in that case where I'm not paying, but I've heard you can get kicked off for that. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I heard, but I'm not sure. I don't have any experience in it, so I can't really speak upon it.
Yeah, personally, your penalty for me, if you do it twice, you get blocked. That's your personal penalty.
And that's the same for me. Somebody listened and they were rude about it. They wrote me, and it was a $600 item, and they said, "You need to remove the restriction you have on this item." And I'm like, "What restriction?" I said, "The only restriction I have is if you haven't paid for 2 items in the last year, you can't buy my stuff." They said, "Yeah, that's the restriction I'm talking about." That's not the way to get an exception from my list. So they did not buy it or send me offers. Listen, Jeremy, it was not Cary, it was Kat, and Cary was talking and I wasn't live.
I was on time.
It was me. It was my fault. Listen, I'm telling you, like, the whole being sick off and on for 6 weeks, it really messes with your head, especially when the kid's sick and then you can't get a schedule and then you're crazy and sell 100 things on Whatnot. And yeah, Brad is like, "You are not allowed to have Whatnot sales on Sunday ever again." I'm like, okay.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was a little rough. Trash to cash Tuesday night.
You guys got to remember, Kevin doesn't have stable internet. He has to have a lot of hamsters going at once to even get enough internet to even do the live. I mean, to even do the podcast not live. I don't think he has the internet to handle that. He's out in the middle of nowhere.
Doesn't he go to bed at like 6 p.m. anyway?
Yeah, I think he's half asleep. I think he's sleep messaging right now. He's
sleep texting. All right. Here's your dolphin son. I'm just now seeing you're not live yet. Luckily, Richard messaged me, and then Cary's like, "I don't think we're live." And Tay saw it too. He's like, "There's no notification. What's going on?" Can you send graphic novels as media mail?
It all depends on if there's ads in it, and if it's like a comic book, it's going to have ads in it, so you can't.
Yeah, that's the answer. Hold on, I'm scrolling for another question. Cheryl's been watching your TikToks and Dawn's TikToks.
Oh, awesome. The TikToks. Thank you. Hopefully you've learned something. Maybe not, but it's possible.
It's so funny though. There's a lot of little knowledge dropped, even in funny little videos. You learn stuff. If you pay attention, you can learn stuff on a lot.
That's one thing that's really good about it. It's a great way to learn a lot of bolos and a lot of things to look out for really quick. That's the benefit of short form media in general for reselling.
Cheryl, this one right here, he's creepy. Blame Harry Humstone. Harry Humstone gave me that doll about 2 years ago, and he has been there. And Brad hasn't turned him around since we moved into the shed. He's sitting about 4 feet to my left right now. And Brad, when we were in the house, though, Brad turned him around every single time. Have any of us had something that gets relisted on eBay that's sold already?
I've had that happen a couple times, kind of inexplicably. I know that it's like a glitch that seems to happen from time to time. It doesn't happen that often, and I don't know how to prevent it, honestly. But I've had it happen a few times. At least I think it has.
It used to happen to me, and then I realized when I used to go relist items, I never changed my quantity. And if you go to relist an item, it doesn't reset to 0. So I don't know if that's something that maybe can happen to you and anybody else out there in the world, but that's what used to happen to me. I used to like relist items, and I used to sell over and over. Like, what's going on? I don't have any more of them. But yeah, the quantity never changes.
I can't remember that this has happened. Usually if this has happened, I've messed up somewhere and then I remember that. But I will say that we went through in our entire inventory and we had a ton that were not listed. Like, just
I've noticed a few lately that I've seen, you know, like when you're pulling stuff and I'm like, that should have sold. And I look it up and it's not there. So I've been bringing them back in here to list them. I had one yesterday that I know sold that I did not relist, and it was relisted and it resold a second time. Luckily, the buyer was really understanding. I was just really honest with them. I told them it was a scarf. They bought it for 15. I told them, hey, you can have any other scarf I have, and I have hundreds of scarves, you know, up to $25. So I kind of gave them an additional $10 credit to use, and they said, no, it's okay. I understand. Just cancel, and that's what I did. So probably twice a month I run into ones that are like that. So I do see it. Trudy wants to know how many people have tried to scam you on eBay.
A few people, but usually you can tell they're trying to scam you and you can avoid dealing with them. It seems to happen a lot when you start. You'll get people trying to say, like, let's do some sort of deal off eBay. But ignore that stuff and realize that's not that common, and it's not a real thing to worry about in general on eBay. I would just focus, once again, and I'll repeat it over and over again, don't focus so much about, am I going to get scammed? What's going to happen if I get a negative review? Just list, learn, and repeat. Just do that over and over again. And be careful. There's going to be a few random experiences that you may have, but as long as you handle it professionally, it's not going to come back and bite you.
Yeah, same thing. I really haven't had to deal with a lot of scams on eBay. I mean, obviously in the beginning, you get those text me on this random number text messages, but besides that, you know, I really don't get too many scams. Or if I've been scammed, I just haven't noticed.
Yeah, mostly when you start out, just be careful of like not switching addresses. Don't, you know, give people your personal information or whatever, like call them or stuff like that. But usually you can tell. And then after you get through that, it's really, most people are there just to buy stuff from you and not scam you.
Sorry, I'm Dom.
Are you the winner?
Yes, Dom mentioned me in a story, and he's got, so this is again the thrift battle tomorrow night. Dom made a story with clips of every single battle me and George won, like at the end where it was like that item made us win. Dom, if you're in my chat, you're distracting me. So I think the scams are really mostly in the beginning. So I think if you push through the beginning, then you'll be fine. I think it really is mostly in the beginning. You might get, I feel like electronics get more scammy people, you know, for seasoned resellers. And I don't do a lot of electronics because of that. But overall, not a lot once you're established and get past the 20 to 30 feedback mark. Judy, I have had Katie and Tay on at the same time. I think once they were on together. So they have been on together. So we have done that, and we will have to do that again for sure. Katie filled in for me. Tay's filled in for me while Julian's been on vacation. So a lot of times it's like a single spot open, but I have had them both on at the same time for sure. Look, he was here earlier, and now you're distracting me with stories, Dom. It popped up on my messages, and I had to look at it. I like the story. I'm going to have to watch it again. Krabby Picker says, what are the major store perks?
You know, a discount on insertion fees, which kind of isn't the same now because you get so many free insertion fees now since the pandemic. But, I mean, you can... Gosh, I don't even know. I just have it, but it used to be the insertion fee. That was the main thing.
I didn't even use my coupon. I'm so mad about that.
Oh, the coupon, yeah.
Oh, the last one you missed? Because it just rolled. Man.
I think when somebody said the deadline was like 2 or 3 days ago, and I was like, I looked at the message. I was like, I didn't even use it. So, But yeah, that was supposed to be a perk. Listing more, I guess. To me, I really don't even notice the perks, to be honest. I just got the store subscription because I could list more items, and it just made more sense for me back in the day.
Yep, and then just a coupon.
Yeah.
For shipping stuff.
Yeah, so you don't pay. If you have a bunch of items, you don't pay the insertion fees. I have 6,000 items times 30 cents. You know, that's a lot of fees instead of paying only $59.99 a month for a store. So you save a lot on insertion fees. Plus, I just use my $50 coupon because I have the $59.99 store. So that's a little perk, but not a big one. But I do try to make sure that I use it. Backpack baby, and I think this is just a single one of us answering. How do you ship using pirate ship when eBay doesn't have a way to pick another carrier?
Basically, you just go on pirate ship and you fill in the address and you print the label and get the number, and then you just type in the tracking number into eBay. That's all you have to do.
So eBay will actually carry. Pirate ship has import from eBay, and it pulls over the address and everything, and it automatically updates the tracking number on eBay.
Even better.
You just click
do that.
one button, and so you don't do it on eBay Backpack Baby. You have to go to Pirate Ship, and then you do have to link your eBay account to Pirate Ship, and you click import from eBay, and it'll pull all of your orders in. Question: eBay changed my store to the new format, and I can't find the line space where I can put where I store. Oh, the custom SKU. Oh, List Perfectly did a video on this, and I can't remember what they said. Does anybody know?
No clue.
I don't even know the new format.
So oh my gosh, they did a video. Michelle, I want to say right under, you have to hit show more and you have to enable the custom SKU just one time, and then it will show up all the time. So it's right in the same area it used to be, but you have to hit like see like more details or see options, and then you click it. And once you click it, it's there. It's there. But search YouTube, because I know List Perfectly, I know, did a video on it. The last thrift battle is tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be my video premiere at 8 or 8:30. It's funny because George premieres at 8, so I'll probably do 8:30. And then we will be in the thrift battle at 9.
Here's the answer to the SKU. Oh, wrong one.
Oh, please. No. Okay. Marcia says on desktop, click the edit options next to the title, and then you turn on SKU. And from what I've heard, you only have to do it one time. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Cha-ching. Thank you, Mary, Garcia, and Abby. Here you go. Thank you. Yes, everybody is happy Julian is back. They missed him again. Thank you to Katie for filling in last week for me. Everybody, it's been like, now it's Katie Tay, and then Katie's coming back next week. I'm alternating them right now. Yeah. French Pug Love, thank you. My whatnots go quick. That's me in general. If you know me, I'm pretty efficient and I like to move fast. Like I list fast. So my whatnots are going the same way. It's like, here you go, 20 seconds, let's go. Here's the next one. So I'm all about like go, go, go. I think with almost everything I do. That's just, I don't, it's more efficient that way. So yeah. Richard wants to know if anybody is using the new eBay format and any new problems you have found.
I'm not using it. I'm not sure even what it is, to be honest with you.
Nope.
I think, is it only on the computer? Yeah, I only use my
it's
phone.
only on the computer. Yeah, I haven't switched mine. And I only use the computer to do my drafts, but my daughter hasn't been doing as many drafts because she's been helping me with whatnot, and I pay her for that. So she's like, oh, I don't need to list that many drafts. Oh, I forgot to turn in payroll. Uh-oh, I better do it now. I'm like losing my mind lately. So only on there, and I have not turned it on. I'm scrolling. You guys are chatting a lot. Hi, Yvonne, if you're still in here, I see you. Mary wants to know, Julian, have you sold the giant pile of VHSs you sourced?
The sealed ones sell like, I don't know, maybe 3 a month, 4 a month or something like that. But the open ones, no. At my yard sale, that big yard sale we did, we liquidated all of those. Sold a couple, gave a lot away. Most gave away.
Yeah. I probably should have done that with my DVDs. I've made profit, but there's so many still just sitting there on the shelves that, like, I mean, it's a lot that's still sitting there like a year later now. Let's see. Scrolling. Okay, we can give a input on this. I'm going to take this down so you guys aren't Wilson over the fence. Flipping Brit says, I'm looking into a thermal. I use Chromebook and heard those aren't compatible. I checked wireless thermals, but reviews say you have to mess with settings. So does anybody know about thermals with a Chromebook?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I have a wireless Rolo, and it's always a little bit picky, to be honest with you. It has hiccups all the time, but you can fix it fairly easily. And wireless works with my phone. It'll work, I believe, with any kind of computer setup you have as well.
Yeah, I had the Chromebook, but I couldn't get it to work with my Dymo, but I never tried it with a wireless one. Nancy, if you're still here, if you could elaborate what you mean. And I think you probably mean List Perfectly. If so, reach out to List Perfectly because they're great at tech issues and helping you figure it out. They answer pretty fast. So I would reach out to them. You might just need to install a new Chrome extension. That might be the thing, but they will answer you pretty fast. Vintage Chick 64, do you think Whatnot will impact the other platforms for the holidays?
Nah, I don't think it will impact their bottom line. It's just going to be another place for people to buy. I don't know to what degree people on Whatnot are going to buy Christmas presents. It's, a lot of collectibles, a lot of sports cards, a lot of people on Whatnot, from what I can tell, are buying stuff to flip. There's a lot of flippers on there going to buy stuff to put on eBay.
Yeah.
If you walk down the street and you ask 10 people if they know what Whatnot is, all 10 will be like, no.
Yep, facts.
So the majority of the people who know what Whatnot is are resellers, people in the community for the most part. So no, it definitely won't have any kind of impact.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I've watched Whatnot and I still don't actually have a good grasp of it. So no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it will impact it. But you've got buyers. That's why I like cross posting. Because you've got buyers that only shop on Posh or only shop on Etsy or only shop on eBay. People have their platforms that they buy off of, and very, very few people shop the different platforms. I think everybody kind of has their main platform they use, and that's the big thing. Nancy, so you're asking if your internet's too slow. So it is a List Perfectly question. It could be your internet's too slow. It could be if you've got the Chrome extension on that you're trying to do too many at once. Just do 1 or 2 at a time. I start from eBay into List Perfectly catalog, and then I put from List Perfectly catalog out to the platform. I have 2 tutorial, step-by-step videos. If you search the Nurse Flipper and List Perfectly, I have 2 walking you through step-by-step. So watch those and hopefully it will help. Mile High Mom wants to know, what is your personal cutoff for holiday delivery?
I don't know. Usually roughly a week before Christmas. I just ship stuff every day, so I don't make any promises when it's going to arrive. During the holidays. But I think eBay says they give you a date every year, or USPS gives you a date every year. Ship it by the 21st, or if you want to use priority, it's got to be out by the 22nd or whatever. They typically tell you every year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, I ship every day, and I think last year I had a lot of people saying, can you guarantee this be here by Christmas Eve? The answer is always no. I will not guarantee any delivery ever.
Yeah, and I just go by whatever eBay will tell you. Like it'll pop up in the listings. The last day to order is this to guarantee delivery by this. So I just go by whatever they say. Desert Fairy Chick is saying, I rarely hear about the convenience of QR code and the ease of using it as USPS. I sell higher price small. So do any of us use the QR code?
No, I don't.
No.
And I want to say, I don't think my post office even offers that. I don't feel like every post office offers it. So
I feel like that's something that like a casual person would use, maybe like for Christmas or something. That seems like it makes sense. But somebody who's shipping all the time, I'm not sure how convenient that would be. I don't know if they can give you a big, list of everything within the QR code they can scan. I mean, like in a scan sheet or whatever. I don't know.
Could you imagine that with 100 packages?
Yeah,
could you imagine sitting in the post office putting on, like, we shipped out 100 yesterday. So like if you're a bigger or a volume seller, I don't think it would be like, I wouldn't want to pack it here, do everything, and then have to go to the post office and figure out which packages were going with what. I don't think yelling any amount of volume. I don't think that all the post offices offer it. So make sure that they do before you don't print. But you can always use a regular printer, Is Tiffany in here? Hi, Tiffany. Tiffany and I, so Friday, my whatnots at 11 a.m. and Tiffany Thrifting Vegas will be following me at 1:30 p.m. So we're doing back-to-back shows again like we did on Sunday. So definitely come check it out.
And then everybody's come check out Kat at the Prison2Profit convention this weekend.
Yes, Kat will be at the Prison2Profit convention this weekend. Richard's been dropping the links. Also, Richard drops, if you guys want to support Julian, his Buy Me a Coffee link is dropped in the chat as well, if you want to support Mr. Julian some. Yvonne, I don't know that we know anything to really discuss. They sold it to a Korean internet company, kind of like Korea's Google. It's called Naver. That's all I read. But Mercari is Japanese owned, I think. So there's already big other countries owning the reselling industry here. It's already happening. So it's not the first one because Mercari is Japan based, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna assume that LaShawn I'm thinking whatnot, but whatnot's on my brain because I'm doing a lot of whatnot. How do you guys take this question?
Oh, my first thought was maybe first thing you sold on eBay. I don't know, or first sale on Whatnot makes sense too. My first sale on Whatnot did well. I mean, it helps a little bit on Whatnot when you're starting if you have a little bit of a social media following. But the cool thing about Whatnot is there's categories. So if you get to a very specific category like video games, if you take good pictures, you have a good lot list of everything that you're going to be selling, there's going to be interest because there's people scouring the auctions every day. And my first sale on eBay ever was Pokemon, a Pokemon sealed game for like $70. That's worth a lot more now, but 10 years ago it wasn't worth that much.
And my first sale played out. I don't know the first item that I bought, but I know I was buying a lot of pallets. That's why I really started selling on eBay even to begin with, because I'm an Amazon seller. That's how I started selling. I was on Amazon for a good 2-3 years before I even discovered eBay. But I was getting a lot of pallets, and then there was items that I could not sell on Amazon. I was restricted in. And unfortunately, since I was restricted on a bunch of items, I just met some dude randomly in a Walmart, and he was getting, matter of fact, it was a Brother Ink, it was like worth like $150, and Walmart had for like $20, and he was just talking about eBay and how much he loved eBay, and I was like, what? That makes no sense. You have to keep the inventory in your house. So we just started talking, and I started putting the inventory that I couldn't sell on eBay, and that's how I started. So it was nothing but health and beauty products, because I was like the health and beauty guy for the longest time. First
sale played out very well. I sold a teapot, and then I quit my job, and now I do this full time. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. So as far as eBay, the first thing I sold was actually rose bushes, like little rose bushes in 1999. 1999. That was the first thing I sold on eBay. Paid 50 cents, sold them for $9.99. People had to mail me checks and cash and money orders back then. There was no PayPal. And obviously, I'm still doing it. I've stopped off and on. And as far as whatnot, I was a little overzealous. I sold 133 things. I did have a sold out show, and I agree with Cary. Social media following helps, but I look at the categories like Cary was saying. So I'm doing mainly jewelry. So I will go in, and if you're on Whatnot and jewelry sells, I'm in there a lot lately because I'm, I want to get a feel and try and learn a little bit about Whatnot. So I'm in a lot of the smaller sellers, Whatnot sales, and I've been buying stuff, some for personal use, some for resale, and mine went good minus my phone died. So we had about 30 minutes of technical difficulties until I figured out I had to sign in on my husband's, but we did not have those issues the second time. So mine went good. But again, like Cary said, I do have a social media following, but I've seen a lot of jewelry sellers that don't have a social media following that are doing very, very well on Whatnot. So
here's a
who
follow-up.
joined my membership? Who
Here's a
joined my
follow-up
member?
real quick for that.
Oh, are sales over $600 from selling my own ugly Christmas sweaters reported differently than those I purchased? No, they're not. It's exactly the same. It doesn't matter if it's personal or business. You're going to get a 1099 regardless. And even if you're not a seller and you sell $800 on eBay, you're going to get a 1099. If you had clothes and you lost weight and you wanted to sell them on eBay, you're going to get 1099. They don't care if you're a reseller or not. You sold $800 worth, you're going to get a 1099. So, yeah. Patricia Wells, welcome to... Oh, I haven't got to play this one in a while. Thank you for joining the membership. Here is the dolphin we haven't seen in a while.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Yay! All right. Where am I at? I didn't write it down this time. Trying to find it. We already answered the return question. I feel like there's a lot more chat. Oh, where did that go? Where did that question go? Somebody said that they've seen a few. I can remember. Oh, here it is. I found it. It was Cindy. There are a couple of well-known YouTube folks having dire prediction for the future of eBay. What is your opinion on the near future of reselling on eBay?
The near future, it's going to continue to be the same and probably grow a little bit. I think there is some cause for concern maybe in the next 10 or 20 years. There's a lot of people, who thought that, malls would be around forever and Sears would be around forever, Kmart. But, they're gone now. So they're going to have to grow. And I feel like eBay's so big and they're really slow to innovate. That could be a problem long term. But right now it still is. I don't care how well you do on Whatnot and wherever, eBay is still the number one place to sell used goods. Amazon is the new stuff, but used goods, eBay is still king. It's going to be for the foreseeable future. And the cool thing is there's so many other options now. Get your, dip your toes in all these other places. Get into Whatnot for, maybe just to learn. Maybe not like you're going to do regular auctions, but just to do one occasionally so that you know what's up. And if you ever need to use it more, it's there.
Yeah. So again, you're a business. Anybody who's a reseller, I just say you are a business. So you want to make sure that you're always learning and being innovating as well with the times. So I think personally, eBay will always be there. I think eBay will always figure it out. Because again, I just listen to the people. When I talk to people and I think about the platforms that they actually go buy on, and I'm talking about people who aren't resellers, they mention eBay, like they mentioned eBay first. So I just don't see it going anywhere. And that does not mean don't go dip your toes in Cary, in Poshmark, in Whatnot, or Let Go, OfferUp. Like I've literally have sold on every single platform possible. I'm just narrowing down to the one that worked for me the best in the moments that they work. You know, right now for the next few months, whatnot's going to be hot. I personally think that they will die in next year, but I'm not an expert, But again, last year, some of these big YouTubers were saying that Facebook Marketplace was going to take over eBay, which was complete madness to me.
Yeah.
I would just say, my opinion is just continue doing what you do. Always do what works best for you. Doesn't matter what works best for anybody else. If Amazon works best for you, keep working on Amazon. I know people who don't even know it, who don't sell on eBay, and all they do is sell on Cary, and they make a wonderful living. So it's all about what works best for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I agree with basically everything they just said. But the cool thing is about if you work for yourself, you can always adapt. So if something starts coming up, you start seeing something, there's so many ways to make money if you're reselling out there that you don't have to. Now, I do like eBay. I think eBay is going to be around for a very, very long time. But in 20 years, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what's going to happen 20 years from now. Who knows? But I will know this, that I'm still going to be doing this, hopefully. And I'm going to just jump to the next thing. Whatever is going to happen, I'm going to adapt and overcome it and then sell wherever I have to sell at. But I do want to start Whatnot. I think it's neat. I don't know. I watched a couple of them and I thought it was pretty fun looking.
It is fun. It is fun. Like I said, I had technical difficulties, but my second one ran flawlessly. No issues at all. I don't think eBay's going anywhere. I think a lot of times the hype over eBay's dying is because it gets views. It gets views. I could go on and say eBay's dying. I don't believe it. My sales personally are up $5,000 a month over what they were last year. So mine are increasing, but I agree with what everybody said. You have to adapt. You have to do what works for you. I lost Facebook Marketplace. They banned me. They kicked me off. And like a lot of people were saying, like last year, they said Facebook was going to take over eBay. That has not happened. Facebook is not overtaking anything. And I know a lot of Mercari sellers, just like Tay said, that only sell on Mercari. They blow it out of the park, make a ton of income. I only get intermittent sales on Mercari and Etsy. But if I were to lose eBay or eBay started crashing, I would then put more time into Etsy and into Mercari, and I would make them work. I would figure out what I needed to do to get more sales there, and I would make it happen. I think for me, a lot of it is I'm not like hashtagging and keywording on those platforms, which helps a lot. And I don't do that. But you have to adapt. You have to adapt. Like soon as I lost Facebook, I went back to Mercari. I ate my words because I'm a business and I need multiple streams of income coming in. Like I could get banned on eBay tomorrow for who knows what. And this is my livelihood. This is how I pay my bills. I have to have other ways to make that income. And I think that's what's really, really important. I just want to put this up there. Janet said she's 80 and loves doing eBay. Keeps her young. She has over 100 items, sold 4 yesterday for $130 and getting better every day. There's not an age limit on it, guys. There's not an age limit. Like I said, 89-year-old active seller at my nurse flipper camp, which was I was so amazed by her. So amazed by her. It was super cool. There's not a age limit on it. As long as you can still get around, you can still buy stuff. You can even source stuff online and not even have to go out of the house to do it. There's a lot of ways to do this business. Teresa wants to know, when you have more than one offer on an item, do you always pick the highest amount? Or if one of the buyers was a repeat buyer, would you pick them even though they have the lowest offer?
Typically the highest bidder. But I mean, if I had a repeat buyer and I knew them and they were buying all the time and it was within $1 or so, I'd probably pick the repeat buyer. But in general, the highest bidder, the best offer, or maybe neither. Maybe I want to hold out and get more.
So apparently Cary decided to do Back to the Future and go into the future and know all my answers and say them before I can. Because that's the situation.
I told you this is the spot. This is the spot right here.
Now everybody's going to fight for it. Before they didn't want it. Now everybody's going to want the hot seat.
But yeah, perfect answer. Like completely 100% perfect.
Yeah, if it's like I get a lot of people who message me that are watch the YouTube videos that I do, and I usually will cut them a better deal. But I have to tell you this: I accept offers so fast. To have 2 offers on one item, that would be very rare to me. Either I'm like declining them or taking them, or doing a counter offer or something. But I don't get too many with multiple offers.
Yeah, I agree. I'm responding to them pretty quick once they come in. For 2 to come in, I would probably be like, did I list that too low? Like I would
Probably
think
hold
something.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise the
Richard
price.
dropped it, guys. I have wholesale handkerchiefs lots. You guys wanted vintage linens and handkerchiefs. They are listed on wholesale. I got over 500 of them. They are listed on wholesale for $2 to $3 a piece and lots of 30 and 50. So if you wanted it, it is there now. It is there now. Did I cancel for out of stock in that case? No, I did not. I canceled because the buyer requested, because the buyer is who told me to cancel the order, because I asked them, did they want to replace it or did they want to cancel? And they told me they wanted to cancel. Just a little tip for you guys. Just a little tip.
That's huge. That's huge.
Sunkiss wants to know, do any of us sell any pet items like collars, clothes, like animal, dog, cat accessories?
I haven't in years, no.
Pooper scoopers.
No. If I see, no. I mean, no. I've sold like a collar once, but that was it.
Listen, I will tell you, if you can find dog clothes, buy them. I found some at an estate sale and I bought like all of them for $1 each and they sold fast, especially the small ones, because you know people have their little pocketbook dogs and they put clothes on them. They sell. If you can find them cheap, I would buy them. I sold a Vera Bradley pet carrier 2 weeks ago for $90, $85, $90 that I got at the thrift store. So I watch for pet carriers and pet clothes. I don't look at like collars and stuff like that, but I look for dog clothes. I look for dog clothes because they sell. They sell.
I'm calling Peter. This is animal abuse. Some kind of
carrying them in a purse. Nancy, so a lot of time on mine, it'll say processing and you got to wait for it to go. And I have to open a new tab to like kickstart it before it'll go. So maybe try opening a new tab for no reason and see if that'll work. If you sell clothes, guys, what do you use to photograph clothes?
I'm the worst example on this. I don't even iron my clothes half the time. I just hang it up and take a picture. I'm not super particular. I'm all about just getting stuff listed. I'm not super detail oriented when it comes to that. I'm more worried about just pushing stuff out. But there's people I'm sure that know better than me. I'm not the one to ask.
Yeah, I don't do clothes like that. And if I do clothes, I have it folded up, taking a quick picture of it, something very, very quick. Yeah, not professional at all.
When I do clothes, we don't do flat lays. We just hang it up. And then the best thing in the world to use is just have good lighting. I use my cell phone and I use Photo Room to take the backgrounds out. And it's super easy.
Yeah, I flat lay them on the carpet behind me. And then I use Photo Room to remove the background. That wouldn't work well if you have a bad back because it's a lot of, like bending over to put it on the floor. I think it was Tim over the years, he did like a stand-up almost flat lay with like a fabric that the clothes stuck to. So it was almost like a drafting table where you could put them on there and list them. I just don't have room for something like that in here right now. Otherwise, I would try and set something up like that where I wasn't having to bend so much. Mile High Mom wants to know, what payout schedule do you use and why?
Daily. I don't want eBay to be making any money off my money that I've already made. So give it to me daily. That's what I say.
For me, it's actually bi-weekly. I used to start out daily, but then I'm so far in my business to where I just want to ensure that I'm not spending my money recklessly. Because again, I really treat it like a business. Normally you get paid every 2 weeks, the 1st and the 15th or something like that. So I just want to make sure that I don't know, mentally, I know it may sound crazy. I just make sure that I'm actually running it like a business. Every 2 weeks just sounds good to me. And I'm at a point in my business. I need to make sure I say this too. I'm in a point in my business where I don't need those daily payouts. Not saying that everybody does, but for me, in the beginning, I needed those daily payouts so I can go buy more inventory and just keep the money flowing. But now I just don't need to do that. I have money like in my account that I can go spend and not have to worry and rely on my eBay payout. So I just kind of look at my eBay payout as my paycheck again, because I pay myself like a business. So I get paid when I get paid from eBay and Amazon.
When I first started, I did daily, and that year I did my own taxes, and it was ridiculous. And so we do now. I have a bookkeeper, but we do weekly payouts, and bi-weekly would actually be, I might switch it to bi-weekly, but I like it would either be weekly or bi-weekly. But right now we're
Yeah, and I did the same early in the business. I needed daily payouts. Now I do weekly, and so it's not such a pain in the butt to my accountant seeing daily and having all those transactions. I'm trying to do the same kind of with Whatnot, pulling out once a week. I do that for Etsy. I have it on weekly payout, and then I have Cary and Poshmark I pull once a week as well. And same thing, you know, if you're new though and you need the income to keep building your business, pull it out daily. But if you have, you know, kind of a reserve, I think less transaction is easier on the accounting side of things. It's a lot easier for sure. Cicely, thank you. $1.99 super chat. I appreciate it. All right. Carol wants to know, and we might all answer this differently. How do you handle an offer much lower than you're asking while being nice, like 5 on 45?
I mean, if you want to be nice, which is probably the correct way to do it, the professional way to do it, you either just decline it outright or you put a counter in. You don't need to say anything in the counter or the decline. You know, so it just depends on what you want to do. Sometimes for algorithm's sake, and this might just be superstition, I'll send back a counter at like 42 or 40 just to say that I was interacting with the person. But yeah, I don't really get that upset about it. People can offer whatever they want. If you don't have that limit, you know, like you don't have a minimum offer, then it's no big deal. They can offer it. You can decline it and move on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I used to get mad when people just send me those crazy offers. So just to avoid me and my stress level, I make sure I turn that minimum on offers that I know I will not take less than this. I mean, because they're just ridiculous. You can have $100 item, and some people will send you that $3 offer just because you have your offers on. So just to stop stuff like that, I make sure that I have the minimum offer that I'm really willing to accept on high dollar items. But lower dollar items like 20 or something like that, I'll just leave it on just because I think that helps the algorithm too. If you accept any offer, or just have the ability to accept any offer on, it helps your store a little bit. But yeah, just to avoid that, because I don't play no games with people. Like, I'm very blunt. Like, are you I just decline. I won't say no counter offers. I'm the worst. You can ask Katie. I'll probably send counter offers probably like 4% of the time, and that's if they're close to what I would accept, because some people are just crazy. I'll just straight decline you and won't even talk to you again. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I tried to avoid really any conversation on eBay. So either I'm going to just decline it or send you a counter offer. Out of $5, I'm actually not even going to counter that. I'm just going to decline it.
You ain't got nothing to talk about. I might even let the offer just sit there for a while just to piss you off.
Yeah, so I think being nice would be saying nothing. For me, I might decline the first one. If they send me another one ridiculously low, I would counter them at like $44. I'm not as nice as Cary. I'm not going down to 40. I would counter them at $44 and tell them that repeated lowball offers will result in them being blocked from ever buying from my store. Put it in there. That's it. And if they send me another low one back, I block them. Like, I'm true to my word. I'm not playing with you. If you want to send me an offer, 10% of what I'm asking, no. Like, so yeah, they don't get under my skin. I just block them, and like, that's it. And it's funny because I've had 2 buyers that have bought hundreds of dollars from me now that I blocked, that they messaged me and apologized. They apologized to me and said, I really want to buy this item. And they bought stuff at full price. The funny thing, like, they didn't even send me any more offers. Like, they went from a $3 offer to paying full price, and now they're regular buyers. You know, I got my point across. I wasn't rude about it. I'm just like, if you keep sending those low offers, I'm blocking you. And I did. But I'm not like hard-headed enough that I didn't unblock them when they apologized and said, I'll pay what you want. I want the item. Then I unblocked them again. Dave wants to know, am I going to get dressed up for the thrift battle?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely not. If you guys don't know me by now that I'm t-shirt and actually I'm t-shirt and like pajama pants in reality. Not even jeans, unless I go out of the house. No, I definitely am not. am not. Marsha, thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys coming. The Whatnot sales have been I've really enjoyed the Whatnot sales. And Brooke, we actually had Dalton was handing the envelopes to Brooke. Brooke handed them to me. We had our little production line going on. It was fun. It was fun. My daughter likes that she can make money and not have to list. So it might hurt my eBay until I figure out a good balance. But for now, it is going good. Yvonne, again, on Yvonne Thrifty Rich channel, 6 p.m. Thursday will be our monthly live sale on YouTube. We do it once a month. So definitely come over for that. I have a lot. I don't know if you can see. I have some really pretty glass stuff that I'm bringing this time. I'm not brave enough to do breakables on Whatnot. Not yet. Not yet. Because I'm scared of having to pack 50 breakables. That just absolutely terrifies me. But jewelry I can do. Jewelry I can do. I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You guys are very chattative tonight. That's not even a word.
9 minutes left to purchase some tickets for the convention.
9 minutes left if you want to come see me, Tay, Katie. Cincinnati Picker is going to be there. In Spartanburg, South Carolina this Sunday at Top Golf. And Tay is giving us all of the money. All of the money. Tay is giving us all the money.
Giving away around $2,000 worth of stuff, guys. You don't want to miss it. Brand new Oculus. Stuff for your YouTube. Stuff for your store. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Cary, Molly wants to know what range would you sell an authentic vintage hockey jersey for? I know it can vary by team. So I don't know if you have like a
they could be there's so many nuances and variables, condition, if it's a popular player, but I mean, it could be a few bucks. Honestly, they could sell for next to nothing, but usually if it's authentic, it could go up to 200, 300, 400 plus. So I don't find those that often, but I mean, I sell a lot of hockey jerseys in the $25 to $75 range. That's usually where most of them go.
Perfect.
So no, but I said,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, I mean, because I really can't answer that question because I don't have the item in front of me. It's hard to answer questions like that because again, it's just what kind of hockey jersey is it? Which team is it? What player is it? Like, it can be vintage. It could be a vintage player who was third string who never got any play time. So, I mean, just so many questions with that.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. Do any of us know much about the fulfillment companies and would we consider using them?
I don't know a lot about any of them in particular. I'll say that first off, but there's very few of us, in my opinion, that would need them. I think most of us can handle the amount of sales we're getting and can increase it even before we'd even have to consider that as an option. I think, my goal is always to see how much I can maximize my time. And then, Dawn is working with me as well. And we have my stepdaughter shipping. So once we've maxed out, which I don't feel like we're even close to, I wouldn't even consider it until then.
So I'm not gonna say I know a lot about these fulfillment companies, but I know a little bit. I do know this: you don't need them at all. You will never ever need them unless. Okay, I'll take that back. If you plan on scaling to the point where you need a fulfillment company, that means you can hire those employees yourself and save that money that you would be paying another company to fulfill your items for you. It would be so much cheaper just to hire local people to do the fulfillment for you when you get to that point. Hire somebody locally. It can be beneficial in some cases if you're like scaling at just a stupid, crazy rate. But for the average seller, they won't even get close to where they need it.
Yeah, I know nothing about them, but I would see that I would never need one, to be honest with you. We're not that busy. Not like I'm really selling like a whole bunch of stuff where I would need somebody else to pack it for me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Amazon's obviously the biggest fulfillment company, so you could look into Amazon, fulfillment if you want to do that kind of stuff. Personally, no, I'm with Tay. If it gets to the point where I thought I needed one, I would just hire somebody else because I would obviously be making more money. Right now, me and my husband do everything except for the listing, and my daughter and Charlene do the listing. But like last week, Charlene has a full-time job, so some weeks she doesn't list anything. So really it's just me and my daughter, my 20-year-old listing, and then my husband helps me ship. So I would rather hire and pay local people. I agree with Tay. Bradford, I am not. Listen, I'm at 9:30, buddy. I'm at 9:30. I'm only 20 minutes behind. I am like way ahead of where I have been the past few weeks, even though there's been lots of chit chat. But I am rolling tonight. We are making it through these questions. Listen, I'm almost at 9:40. Uncle Bubba, what is your favorite item you picked up to flip but decided to keep it for yourself?
I don't keep a lot of stuff, but here's an example. I love the Mighty Ducks movies. I'm known for that. So I got this Mighty Ducks flag. That's like my only kind of decoration in this room. So I don't do it that often. The one thing I've noticed doing this for years and years and years is that I'm not attached to stuff that much. I like to move it and get on with it.
Oh, done. Okay. I thought you was
Sorry.
So for me, I guess if I picked it up, I've already decided if I'm going to keep it for myself or flip it. I don't want to say I picked up something like, oh, I'm about to sell this. Nah, I better keep it for myself. I've already decided in that moment if I'm going to sell it or if I'm going to keep it for myself. We do this business where we make a lot of profit. So if we run across items and we feel like it's going to be useful for us or something that we actually want, we shouldn't feel bad about keeping it. I mean, we're in the business to save as much money as we can in a lot of areas. And that's also with like enjoying life for ourselves. So we could find something and we got a good deal on something like a figurine or something that we really wanted, a video game that you probably wanted, or who knows, enjoy that thing, and don't look at it like, oh, I better flip this instead. No, you flipped so many other items that you made up to be able to splurge on yourself every once in a while.
Yeah, if I bought it, I probably knew right away if I was going to sell it or not. Like, especially fishing reels and stuff like that. Like things that would cost me. I'm using one now that I bought for I think $10. That fishing reels were like $200 and some. Bought it for $10. Why wouldn't I keep that? Because I'm going to need another one. So just go ahead and keep that one, and I saved myself like $190. So I usually have never been like taking a picture of something and been like, I think I'm going to keep this now. That's never happened. But I have picked something up and was like, hey, I could make money, but I'm also saving myself a lot of money because I'm going to keep it anyway or buy another one.
Yeah, I'm exactly like Cary. I'm not attached to anything. Like if I pick it up to flip it, most likely I'm going to flip it. But I agree with Julian. Like I picked up like Dalton clothes, Dalton shoes, picked up Dalton's hamster cage, like stuff that I was already going to buy, but I'm saving money, just like Tay said, or if it's something you really wanted, like if you wanted a really nice purse or wallet and you saw it at a thrift store. But I've never picked up anything with the intention to flip and not flipped it. I am not attached to the merchandise. And my husband it's funny because I'll get stuff and he's like, sells for more than $20. I can't keep it. Now, if it's like something he really wanted, I will let him keep it. But overall, we're flipping it. We're flipping it. Is that Junk Monkey? It is Junk Monkey. Oh, yep, we do. Hold on, I'll make him big. Here you go. All right, Tay.
And it's while we're talking about for items to flip, right? If you buy an item for yourself, another way to not feel bad about it is just to buy something that's going to pay for the entire haul. So that way you'll be good. So here goes your little dolphin. I can't believe you. Don't know why I'm so shy to do the dolphin tonight. But I forgot how the dolphin sound. What is it?
Oh my God. I told him before we went live that was going to happen. I told him. So Junk Monkey, thank you for making that happen. That was great because we did talk about it. We did talk about that. All right. BB wants to know what platform takes the least amount for selling.
I'm not sure. Facebook, maybe? I'm not sure. I would focus more on what platform is going to sell you the most stuff. I wouldn't focus too much on fees in general. There's none that are, that terrible that that it's going to hurt you that bad. So
you're talking about fees on this question?
Yeah. Like what takes the least amount?
Again, I'm going to be that guy who plays devil advocate. I don't care about no fees on any platform. I don't even worry about it. When I see people complain about the fees, I want to block them. And I'm going to tell you why. Just because the way that they advertise for you on most of these platforms, you're not going to get that anywhere else. Just think about brick and mortar stores wish they can get the advertisement for each of their products like we're getting on these platforms. I mean, by promoting these items for us, and that's without even us having to promote these items on eBay. Like eBay specifically, like if you don't even promote an item, eBay is going to promote that item for you. It's going to put your item in front of thousands and thousands of eyes that people probably would have never seen that item if you didn't list it. They're not going to be able to walk into their local store and find this. I mean, a lot of items that they find on eBay. So when it comes to the fees, that means you're not putting your profit margins right. You're not thinking about your profit margins before you even purchased any item at all. Like you have to think about shipping before you buy an item, what platform you're going to put it on, the fees and all that. Like you have to be thinking about all that before you even start selling. Fees are just part of it. If you were in a brick and mortar store, you have to pay your rent. You have to pay lights for that store. You have to pay, you know what I'm saying, marketing. You have to pay advertising. Like there's so much that you would have to pay for, and it's so much cheaper by paying these little 6 and 7% fees that people are complaining about. I'm sorry, I thought you were going to whole rant. I'm sorry, I'm over here about to get mad. just thinking about it. Just
box topic for me too. No, I get you.
It's just I don't get it. Like people complain about I don't like 13% fees off items that they're selling for hundreds of dollars and $50. $3 and $4 fees is what you're paying.
Local auction houses charge 25, 30%. I mean, it's actually a really good deal. I don't want to say that because eBay might be listening, but it's actually not that bad of a deal.
Yeah, don't make them raise it more, Cary. Don't make them raise it more on us.
Because if they do, you know it would be your fault because you just
100% Cat's fault. I agree.
I'm gonna be like, refer to this video at this timestamp. Cary's fault. eBay fees went up.
Tomorrow, all fees up.
Oh man,
all fees are
that
up.
would be terrible. That'd be terrible.
That would be bad timing, Cary. That would be such bad timing.
That would.
I'm with them. I actually don't worry about fees, but when I do buy something, I do think of, okay, I usually take 20% for fees. I know it's not that much, but I always give a little in there, but I don't, it is what it is. Like, I don't really worry about it.
Yeah, I agree. So it doesn't matter which takes the least because you might not sell the most there. Like Facebook's the least amount of fees, but they kicked me off, so I can't sell there. I think next is probably Mercari at like 10 to 12%. Actually, Whatnot and Mercari are probably about even at 10 to 12% with like payment fees and stuff. And eBay and Posh are probably tied for me because I promote. So I figured 20% like Julian, even though a lot of times it's less. I am with Tay. Guys, like you're not going to get that. Like you can't go build a website, bring millions of people to your items. You can't do it that cheap. You don't like stuff isn't free. It's not free. And you would be paying a lot more than that to try and get them to your own website, a lot more. And I don't think people realize that. So when people complain about fees to me and that they're not making anything, I tell them they're paying too much when they're buying the item. Like if you don't have room for profit, you're paying too much. You make your money on the buy, you don't make your money on the sale. And if you're buying smart, even 25% in fees is not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. You're still going to make a good profit, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, and that's why I promote. We were talking about that the other night. Like, I promote high, but I get more sales. So, like, a lot of Amazon sellers run at a 15 to 20% profit margin. But if they're getting thousands and thousands of dollars of sales, they're happy with it. You know, you got to look at like your bottom line. I use my friend as an example. He had 2 million in sales last year on Amazon. His profit was 250,000. That's only 12.5% profit. So are you going to look at that as 12% profit, or are you going to look at it, you just made $250,000 in profit? I'm going to look at the $250,000. I'm going to look at the overall picture, not that I only made 12% in profit. You know, that's good money. That's good money. It's basically just him and one employee. So, you know, go Abby, go. I think they're on the West Coast, so Abby's still awake. Abby is 9 and she's selling $300 a month. And she's making it into Courtney's Bolo Buddy videos too with bolos. Nona's daughter wants to know, how do you keep up with trending keywords and hashtags?
I don't. That's how. I don't. I don't think that's so important. Like there was something that's been happening on Instagram the last couple of days. I don't know if you guys have seen it. The cactus plant flea market McDonald's toys, and I did sell some of those for fun. Yeah, it's like a new adult Happy Meal for like I guess adults, right? And it's like little
Oh, I'm
toys
really
you can
late.
get and stuff. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'll order my McDonald's in the morning. I already got it scheduled.
Exactly. It'll pay for your meal, but you're not going to make like a ton of money on it. But like if you're chasing after stuff like that, you're never going to have a sustainable business. Hashtags, trending, keywords. Just focus on learning. If we're talking about eBay here, focus on learning stuff that sells. There's so many niches on eBay. Like you can get into clothing, get into sports cards. You could sell. You could sell all sorts of random stuff. So focus on just getting into a niche and learning it. Backwards and forwards. Not so much what's hot now, what's hot tomorrow, because there's a lot of people with a basement full of fidget spinners right now that can't sell them. So I wouldn't focus on that.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I don't keep up with no keywords, trending topics, but when people scream the BOLO stuff and all that stuff, like I don't pay attention to none of that because I just focus on the core, checking comps, checking my sell-through rates, seeing my profit margins, because that's what matters. I've been selling, it doesn't matter how long I'm gonna sell NBA. I have made so many sales on eBay by literally just hitting sell similar, not going into the description and putting other keywords and vintage this and it's the color blue and it's flaring and it goes like I don't care about all that. A lot of other people don't care about that either. They just want to see, do you have a product that they want? That's it. Like you have something that I want. Oh, pictures look good enough. Looks good to me. You have a good price. I'm gonna buy it. Like some people care about the keywords, and obviously some people are entering certain search terms that will help your listing pop up. I do know this. I understand that it will help, but for me personally, it's just time. It's just too time consuming to sit there and have to come up with all these magical words to try to get an item to sell. Like if the item can't sell itself, then I really don't need it.
Yeah, I don't really sell anything that's so trending. Like I sell like golf clubs and stuff like that. So that's really not trending. It's always going to be trending. People are always going to play golf. So I don't really put too many keywords because I sell a lot of things with model numbers. So they take care of their own keywords.
Yeah, so I'm big on keywords in your title, but I don't care what's trending. I don't pay attention to it. I don't try and research it. But I do think the more descriptive words, especially with like the rare vintage stuff, it helps sell it. But I'm not like, I didn't know like cottage core and I guess granny core is now like, I don't know that until Mary Garcia tells me in a members live. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll use that as a keyword. I don't care. I'm not going to spend time on it. I agree with the guys. Look it up, research the comps, and take good pictures, and it will sell. All right, I'm going to put this comment up, and then we're going to answer one more question, then I'll let the guys tell you bye. Beverly says, Zig Ziglar says, to get what you want, you have to help others get what they want. Thank you, Kat and gentlemen, for giving back to the community. You are welcome, Beverly. We are happy to help. All right, Sandy wants to know, this is the last question of the evening, guys. Did you have a mentor when you started?
When I started, I was watching YouTube. That was really my mentor. And I started in 2011, and there was only a few people doing reselling back then. Only a few, and most of them are all gone at this point. So I was insatiable with watching what people were buying, what people were selling. And you kind of, I feel like to a certain extent grow out of that with time. But yeah, the cool thing about the modern age is you can go online and you can find all sorts of people who are similar to you, selling and buying stuff. And you can learn. You can get into whatever you want. You can find people who just sell clothes, just sell sports stuff, just sell, electronics, and you could really get into it.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say I had a mentor, but yeah, definitely was influenced by the YouTube. Honestly, if I never watched YouTube videos, I probably wouldn't be a reseller. I mean, that's what really got me into actually taking that chance on becoming a full-time reseller. I mean, obviously, you can go out there and buy and sell stuff, but just taking it as seriously as I did when you become a full-time reseller and just seeing those videos pop up, with these random people coming on TV like, hey, I went to Goodwill and I found this for $2 and sold it for $50. It's like, no, you didn't. Let me see if this is true, and then you just learn that way. But my I guess learning the value of a dollar came when I was actually locked up. To be completely honest, I ran into a guy who was all about the stock market. He was getting all these educational magazines, the Wall Street Journal and the USA Today, and just all the not sports magazines, what everybody else was used to. He was getting all the educational stuff. And he just really sat me down and just told me the value of $1, which I don't think nobody really teaches you anymore, and how a lot of people back in the day was working for like $13 an hour, and that was like good, you know, like back in the day, like $13 an hour, man, people are only making like $8 an hour, $7 an hour. But then when you sit back and think, wow, but everybody has a skill within themselves that they can go make $20, $30, $40 an hour. You know, when somebody sat me down and just really taught me that really just blew my mind, learning the value of an actual dollar and the time that we put ourselves in to go work for somebody else to go make them rich versus ourselves. But yeah, I've had a bunch of mentors in my life, man. Like people in the chat, y'all are my mentors. I learned from you guys. You know, I learned from the people on this panel. Like, yeah, everybody's my mentor, man. Everybody.
Yeah, I would say when I first started, it was definitely just YouTube. Like I had 3 years ago, there was at least, you know, there's a lot of people out there still doing this on YouTube. And I was like, hey, what is this? Is this true? How can you do this? And then my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, she's the one that actually also brought it up to me, and she showed me how to do it. And then I just basically took it to like the next level of like scaling and then quitting my job. And then now she's quit her job. So tables have turned.
Yeah. I did not. So I started eBay before YouTube was even invented. I started eBay in 1999. I was just naturally I've been a flipper my whole life. I was flipping stuff in middle school. And I don't know what got me looking it up. Like my neighbor had a ton. He had a little nursery, tons of these roses, and they were 50 cents. And I'm like, I wonder if I could sell those things. And sure enough, plants is what I sold. The first couple of years I sold on eBay, and I was making $40,000 early 2000, which was a lot of money then. Especially I was 22 years old, making, like Tay said, $10, $11, $12 an hour. That was a lot of money from home. And then when I got back into it, I agree with everybody, because I got back into it about 3 years ago. YouTube for sure. And I agree with Tay. Like I learned so much from the people that are watching me too, that are commenting. They're increasing my knowledge, stuff that I don't know. Like I don't get like mad and defensive. If I don't know it, then I am more than willing to learn. I appreciate when people know more than I do, to kind of take that in. They know more about stuff than I do. So this community is really helpful as far as kind of mentoring each other. You know, we all help each other grow. These chats are really nice to help people if they have questions. And yeah, I made it to 940. That is like the furthest I have made it in like a month. That is like, I don't even think I made it to 9 o'clock last week. It was rough last week. All right. I'm going to make Cary big. Tell them if you got like your trash to cash coming up, your videos when you're dropping, whatever you got going on coming up this coming week or the rest of the week.
Awesome. Yeah, we just dropped a new Trash to Cash podcast this morning, so go check it out. I do daily uploads on YouTube. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. I'm everywhere. So if you want to see short videos, that's kind of what I'm known for, like 13, 30-second videos on what to look out for. They can be helpful when you're on the run, throughout your day. So just go check me out. American Arbitrage everywhere.
Perfect. Here is Tay.
Yeah, guys. Prison2Profit on all the platforms. You can currently go watch A&E, because I have to say that now once a day. Go watch A&E 6 days in, Thursdays at 9 p.m. If you enjoy stuff like that, yeah, go check out the TV show. And yeah, I'll leave you with this. Be the best version of you. Don't try to be like nobody else. Don't feel like you have to do what anybody else is doing. If you see numbers that somebody else is presenting to you, just take those numbers with a grain of salt. Like, the goal should just be to please yourself at the end of the day. A lot of people show you what they want to show you. Like, so that's what social media is for. Like, people only show you the best versions of themselves. They don't show you like the bad times a lot of the times. So always keep that in mind. If your sales are running, if your sales are slow, everybody has a slow sales season. Everybody doesn't have the best items. Everybody receives returns. Everybody has a little annoyances, but everybody just doesn't talk about it all the time. So just keep that in mind too. This reselling stuff can be a headache. It's just like any job in the world. Everybody has worked, I'm sure. Everybody has been at work and be like, I hate this job. I guarantee it. Even in reselling gives us the freedom to do what we want to do. but there are times when reselling can be frustrating. But just know that's exactly what it is. It can be frustrating, and you're going to be able to get past it and just move forward and continue on with the next day. So any goal that you have in life, you can accomplish it, man. Like, coming from a guy who was told I would be nothing, like I'm supposed to be nothing, you know. And it doesn't really take us long to be able to be where we want to be. You know, I just came home 6 years ago from prison, and I literally had nothing, guys. And this is not me bragging at all, because it's really nothing to brag about. I just want to show you that no matter what situation that you come from, that you can go out there and be almost anything that you want to be. I came home to absolutely nothing. And now, you know, I have 2 cars, I have a house, I have so much that I'm thankful for. I'm completely out of debt. I don't owe anything. You know, everything that I own is paid for. I'm basically caught up. I lost 10 years of my life, and I caught up to a lot of people who was on the streets, who had these full-time jobs, who had these careers, you know, and now I'm almost to the same level, if not superseded some of them, you know, and I'm proud of that. You know, those are people who, when I was locked up, you know, I had to call and ask for help, and they denied me. Now they're looking to me and asking me for help. You know, that to me is a true blessing, because it just goes to show that no matter what situation that you've been, you can overcome. And reselling gave me the freedom to do all that. And that's why I went on that whole rant. Man, reselling is just life-changing, man. With me having a baby now, I get to spend so much time with my child and spending the hours that I want to spend with my baby because of reselling. I've met so many wonderful people in this community because of reselling. I've made the most money I've ever made in my life because of reselling. And it also, there's definitely hard work behind that. So don't think you're just going to jump into reselling and everything's going to come to you easily. It's not. If I can show you my room earlier, surrounding me, this place was a complete disaster. I spent literally from 9 till 10 p.m. or actually 9 to like 3 a.m. listing items all day yesterday. It's not pretty. It's not fun. But at the same time, it can be refreshing. It can be freeing. You know, when the pandemic happened a few years ago, there was a lot of people who lost their jobs. Reselling saved a lot of people, man. And this community is just so wonderful, man. Just, there's a lot of people who were just very depressed, and reselling saved them in just so many ways, man. So I know I went on a whole rant, and I'm sorry for just taking up that much time. I didn't really mean to. I just be talking sometimes and just blah, 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 blah. But I just want to say, man, reselling is a life changer, man. It can save your life. Just don't be afraid to put the work into it.
Perfect. Julian, what's going on?
A lot of them on every platform. I do every other day on YouTube, and actually, like, we're throwing in another video. We have another YouTube channel lifting off here pretty soon. We already have a couple videos on it, and then Facebook, Instagram, and every place else in the world that I try to put my name out there.
Yes, and I have my second channel too, Catch Treasure Hunting. We're almost up to 5,000 subscribers on that channel. So thank you guys who have went over there. I do a thrifting video every Saturday and a giveaway in every thrifting video. I love giving stuff away. My next Whatnot sales Friday, I'll probably do over $200 in giveaways again. I've been trying to do that almost every show. The first one I did $500 in giveaways. But since I'm doing more than one a week, I'm trying to kind of split that. So $250 in giveaways. 2 of my handkerchief lots sold out of 10. So I still have 8 handkerchief lots available over on Haul Sale. I did get specific requests for those, so I went and found them just for you guys. And then I have a video tomorrow, a research video on snow globes, and I have the finale against George the Antique Nomad, who is one of my closest friends. I love George, so we will have to battle it out for a couple of hours to see who wins the thrift battle that has been 3 years long, tomorrow night on Dom's channel at 9 p.m. Thursday, I said this on my video yesterday, my week is really busy. Thursday, I have a live sale with Yvonne Thrifty Rich at 6 p.m. Eastern. And Friday, I will have another video and my Whatnot sale at 11 a.m. And Saturday, I'm leaving to go see Tay. So I have no spare time this week. Zero, zip, zilch. And then Sunday, I'll be hanging out with Tay. Monday, I'll come back. And then I'll probably do another Whatnot on Tuesday. So yeah, like the next week's pretty pretty jam-packed for me. We appreciate all of you coming. We still have almost 550 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We are here every Tuesday. Next week is going to be Tay's other half. Katie is going to be on along with Scott, Cha-Ching King, and Julian. Yes, Miss Katie Reeds. So we will see you guys next week and every Tuesday at 8. Thank you for coming. Bye for now.